Now we're recording. Hold on. Hey, Brandy.
Hey.
Welcome to The Scoop, Weddings Unveiled, with your hosts, Tim Schaus of TLS Entertainment and Brandy Harlan, a local wedding planner, bringing you tips, tricks, and ideas to help plan your wedding day. This is The Scoop, Weddings Unveiled.
Welcome back to another episode of The Scoop, Weddings Unveiled. I am Tim Schaus, your premier wedding DJ with TLS Entertainment, joined by the wonderful and beautiful Brandy Harlan, your non-retired wedding planner. Let's get into it.
Hello, hello.
How you doing?
I'm great. How are you?
Doing well.
So much going on.
So much going on. It is
Yes.
April 1st.
Yes.
It is April 1.
Woohoo! How many more months we got for season?
For season? Oh,
April,
well.
May.
Well, April is about to
April's
about to go crazy.
April's about to put March to shame.
It really is.
Oh God.
March was, I mean, for myself, March was an below average month, I want to say.
Yeah.
But April is about to just, we're kicking into full gear. We've got 4 weddings this weekend. We've got like 6 the following after. It's just back to back to back to back. We've got I think 4 proms that we're doing this year.
Oh man.
We are
okay.
Yeah, we're doing.
You guys are ramping up your prom attendance this year.
Riverview High School. We booked Riverview High School. Super excited for
Nice.
that. DJ Mike's going to be doing that. We've got I've got my sound guy. He's going to be bringing our full on like
your rig and your
scaffolding,
whatever you guys call that.
Yeah, we've got specific sound equipment that we utilize for proms when it's 500 plus.
And you have
as
those
far as
towers that you put up. What are those?
Oh, trusses. Yeah, that's for
Trusses,
lighting. Yeah. They didn't do the lighting, but that's okay.
Oh, okay.
But we do have our sound that we're going to be utilizing for 500 plus guests.
Plus.
We're also doing.
There's that many going to prom?
It's Riverview High School. It's a huge school.
Okay, but I'm from a small town. 500
it's
in
Riverview
a
High School.
graduating class?
Yeah.
Oh my
I mean, you figure it's probably
gosh.
junior senior prom.
Still, I had that many in my whole entire high school.
Yeah, we've got, let's see here, we're doing Cardinal Mooney as well. We're doing.
You doing Booker?
No, we're not doing Booker. We're doing St. Stephen's.
Oh, okay. St. Stephen's will be good.
I mean, it's good. It's just, it's
a little more conservative.
A lot more conservative.
Yeah.
The students don't want to be conservative.
Nope.
They want to hear certain songs.
Oh,
with Riverview High School and Cardinal Mooney. Oh, and we're also doing Palmetto. That's the other one.
Oh,
Palmetto High School.
Palmetto's going to be good. Can I gotta come
You
hang
can,
out with these.
please.
Because I just want to see.
Because we've got photo booth at some of them. So why don't you
Yes.
come and join
And
the
hang
photo
out.
booth? Yeah.
In April?
All this month, yeah.
Didn't we already talk about this?
Well, there's some like during the week though.
Oh, okay.
Like,
I'm in for those.
There's like Thursdays or Fridays.
All right.
But yeah, I mean,
Palmetto.
it's gonna be exciting.
That's awesome.
And then we've got weddings in between.
Yeah.
The bar mitzvah's in May. But yeah, it's gonna be. We've got a very, very
Diverse April.
Yes, very diverse April.
I'm feeling that. Like I have been talking obviously about the end of April for a while because it's just anticipation at the venue at the Retreat Sarasota. But I have 5 events in 3 days.
And I'm part of one of those.
And you're part of one of them. But oh my gosh, like the build up to that is jam packed. So I just finished. Well, we have a couple more day of practices before our debut of our play that I'm in. Well, not ours, but my play. So my play is back up again this year. I'm still a part of the ensemble cast, so we've been practicing for months. And then our first opening night is Thursday. So full dress, costume. I look 50 pounds like heavier in my costume, in my clothing. It's quite crazy. I look so
really,
different.
Yeah, you look completely different. It's kind of cool.
It's kind of funny because I'll come out after the show and there'll be like audience members like mingling around still, and I'll come out and they'll. Wait, was that her?
You don't stay in costume?
So when it's over, there might be some people like hanging out talking to our director or whatever, like friends, just kind of like mingling, or family waiting for other members to come on out. So we get out of character and out of all of our garb and clothing, and that to go home. And so when I come out and I'm like totally different, they're like,
"Who's that?"
It happened so much last season. They were like, "Wait, is that?" like, yep, that's me.
That's cool.
And, you know, I break out my country accent.
Yeah.
My name is Miss Eloise.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that's every single weekend this month up and through the 20th. And then I've got the 5 events the end of April. And I leave for Wedding Pro tomorrow at West Palm.
Okay. That's Wedding Wire and the Knot.
Wedding Wire and the Knot. Yeah. So it'd be fun to report on everything that goes down at the Wedding Pro West Palm.
Yeah. Please
it's crazy
let us know. That's cool.
So much going on, but
all
good.
All good things. So we've got a busy month ahead. So we should have a lot to talk about.
Yes.
And hopefully some other like trends and some things. However, I want to say that I said this to you was it last night?
Yeah, you sent it to me.
Some reporting.
Right? I love a good analytic report too.
I definitely look at analytics. That's what I do. I'm in marketing. Yeah. And it's really cool to see that we actually have listeners.
Yay!
Yay. That we actually have listeners. But we have listeners in Norway, in the United Kingdom, in Spain. That's pretty cool.
That is really cool.
I had no idea.
Like, y'all should comment and tell us where you're from when you're listening to our podcast and give us a review. Like, you can give us like a review and 5 stars on Apple and
Spotify.
Just
Apple and Spotify are the two, the main ones.
Yeah.
But it's really cool. And we're approaching 1,000 downloads coming up soon. So
that wedding dress one, I am surprised. I mean, I am, but I'm not surprised. The wedding dress episode with Post 360 was the top downloaded one.
With the past 3 months.
In the past 3 months.
The past 3 months, yeah. Wedding dress trends plus Pose 360 photo booth with guest Alexa Ann. We had so number 2 after that was wedding planners planning their own wedding.
Yes.
That was with
Lakewood Ranch.
Amy and Haley over at Lakewood Ranch. Vendor tipping cheat sheet was a big one.
Yeah, we had Jamal on for that one.
Yeah, that's right. Special guest Jam All Day, which we're going to talk about him in a minute. What's in and what's out for 2024. The best family activities, which is actually fairly new. That's just a couple episodes ago. Best family activities, restaurants and nightlife for your family members that are coming into town for your wedding. Some places that they can check out. And then the one that we just posted this last week, wedding professionals, stop double booking yourselves. That one has taken off.
Yes.
So I'm excited. I'm interested to see how that one.
Yeah.
Because if you didn't hear about, there are wedding professionals that will double book themselves on a wedding day, and
it's insane.
Honestly, like couples. I mean, obviously that's a question you want to ask your wedding vendors, and officiants can get away with it.
Yeah, I just thought about even planners, because they may have a team. But here's the thing: if the expectation is that they'll be at the wedding, doesn't mean they're going to be there the whole time. Right. They might pop in and check on things, and then status report, and then move along. So asking them that question, if they're going to be on site the whole entire time, or if they're leaving at a certain time and leaving like their junior associates or whatever to finish the night, is important to know.
Yeah. So it was some fun statistics to look back on and see where our listeners are. Again, you can also watch us on YouTube if you just YouTube TLS Entertainment, or you can just YouTube The Scoop Weddings Unveiled. It's under the TLS Entertainment page.
Yeah, you can see what we look like.
Smile. Ding. But anyway, we're gonna move on to actually one of our listeners.
Yes.
This is our first full-on wedding review.
Yes.
That we are not a part of.
We were not vendors.
We were not vendors. We were guests.
Yes.
And we were invited.
Yes.
We did not crash this wedding.
We made the guest list like on the chart. Our names were there. Yeah.
So a big shout out to Sabrina and Jose.
Yes.
They are listeners, and congrats to you two on a beautiful wedding from this past weekend. And we're going to do a full review on it.
Yeah.
Right now.
I think the craziest thing is that they don't live here.
No, they live in Wisconsin. They're cheeseheads. Not that they were like sports at all, but
there was no sports involved.
No,
but
but yeah, Wisconsin, Madison, Wisconsin.
Yeah, Wisconsin.
Way up there. So they had a lot of guests. They had about 80 guests.
Yep.
And
it was at the Bishop Museum.
It was at the Bishop Museum was the venue. Caterer was Cornerstone.
And Company.
DJ was Jam All Day Entertainment, Jamal. Photography. I don't know who the photographer was.
I don't know. Did she tell us on the?
I think she said it was a friend,
Maybe.
right?
I'll check.
But was not familiar with the photographer. But I don't think they had a planner. They just used the bishop's coordinators, correct?
I guess they don't. Not to my knowledge, offer.
They were
coordinate.
helping.
I think they were just like let me help you out kind of thing.
And then
but they don't have services like that.
And then they also utilized Spunky Spirits or something?
Yeah, Party Pals.
Party Pals. So remind me of, you said that you talked about this. And
yes.
I must have tuned you out while we were on. But Party Pals.
Oh, and don't forget Sweet's Bakehouse.
Oh yeah, Sweet's Bakehouse.
She did the desserts.
They're really good.
They were so good.
We'll have to talk about that too.
Okay. Oh, Haley Mathers Photography. She's a family friend who primarily works in the Northwest. So she came from out of state too. So that was great. So Party Pals are the fill-in to when you think you can do it all, but day of you don't want to do anything, but you also don't maybe have the budget for a full-on planner. So, for instance, you've done all the work, you've done all the decor. It just needs to be put out and handled, or you need somebody for cleanup or a room flip to manage the cleanup so that you can save costs maybe elsewhere.
Gotcha.
Because when you need a room flip, you have to hire 3 or 4 extra people on the catering team, but you only have 80 guests for this instance this weekend. You only have 80 guests. You don't need 3 or 4 extra catering people, but you need to flip the room. They didn't flip the room this weekend, but typically you do.
Yeah.
So a Party Pal is through Spunky Spirits, and so you hire them by the hour. And so say it's for decorating. I've had them out at the Retreat Sarasota. I refer people to them all the time because our space is smaller. It's easier just to have all your stuff and they decorate for you. You give them pictures, you give them instructions, you hire them, they come, they execute, and they leave. And then they can also have another group that comes back at the end of the night to clean up and do and take down everything so that grandma's not doing it, which I did see grandma doing it this weekend. She was picking up chargers, but I think it's out of her need to want to help because I did notice that she was very much wanting to be a part of helping.
Yeah.
But they come in and they're really professional. They're easy to work with. Their hourly is not super expensive, and they do everything with passion and to the T of what you want, really. I've seen them do decor and I'm like, oh, okay, they really take actual pride in what they're doing and whatnot. So it's not you're just hiring it's not day labor. I don't want anybody to think it's day labor. It's extra hands just to execute what it is that you need done.
That's cool.
And so reach out to Spunky Spirits.
That's cool. So let's get into it. Sabrina and Jose. So the ceremony, we walk in.
Well, and it was so cute that Jose was standing at the entrance at the gate of Bishop, and I walked past because I got there a few minutes before you. You're right behind me. I walk in and he points to me and he goes, "Podcast? You look different. I'm sure you're you're dressy." And I was like, "Hey, Jose." And he's like, "Thank you so much for coming." And then he did the same thing to you.
Yep.
And I must say, Jose and Sabrina made us feel like we had known them for years.
Yeah.
And that we were family, and it felt so good.
It was really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, super sweet, such a sweet couple.
Oh my gosh.
And, but I mean, walking into, and not knowing much about them, you walk in and you could just kind of feel a certain vibe.
I think we called it magical. It was just...
It
was like when you first walk into Disney is what we talked about. When you first walk into Disney and you just have this
It was the music selection. And I'm not, and again, I don't know anything. I don't know what was given to Jamal as far as music selection, but I'm assuming that these were all requests for, as guests arrive, pre-ceremony, as guests arrive, the style of music. And it definitely set the vibe. And it even I feel like that musical vibe matched the decor.
And it matched their love story.
And yes, and it matched their love story, which was really cool. So we got there. The ceremony started, Sabrina told me it started at 5:20.
Catering told me 5:30.
So really...
It started at 5:40.
Yeah.
But that happens.
It does, yeah. I mean, there are times, and that's why you want to...
be on time.
Well, you want to be on time, but there are times where things... go a little bit later.
Yes.
So as an officiant, if you have multiple weddings...
Don't double book.
Well, no, you can double book. Just make sure you give yourself time in between. Enough time. to, you know, if one happens to go longer.
I don't think we're ever letting that one go for a while.
No,
just
goodness. But anyway, so we kind of, and all right, so the ceremony wasn't your typical ceremony too, because it was right there in the courtyard at the Bishop. Usually they will do a room flip.
Yes.
In this situation, they did the ceremony right in front of the fountains, which is what they usually do. They usually have chairs.
Yep, 2 rows of
they
sections.
Have, two
with an aisle.
With an aisle for your ceremony, and then typically guests will then leave that the courtyard and go to another area.
Yeah, any other area. Like sometimes it's on the loggia, which is like the front of the entrance of the museum, or there's some other little hidden areas where you can go.
Yeah, there's other areas at the Bishop Museum for cocktail hour.
Yes.
And then during that, you have no idea what's going on, but they're doing a complete room flip. And when you come back, it's like, oh my gosh, it's a different room. In this case, they didn't do that. Nope. They actually had all the tables placed, ready to go.
Yep.
They did have like kind of like an aisleway.
Yes.
But everybody sat at their tables for the ceremony.
Yeah.
Completely.
I didn't hate
different.
it.
No.
Like I thought, ooh. But you know what I mean? As a planner in my head, I'm like, oh, this is, and I thought that because it's different than what I'm used to, not as like, this is not good. I was like, oh.
Okay.
But it really created an intimate vibe for me. It didn't feel so stuffy. And I liked that.
Yeah. So I really, that kind of like layout for the ceremony was different.
Yeah.
To something that we don't ever see. I guess it just depends on, the ceremony, where the ceremony will be and where the reception is. The reception and the ceremony happen to be in the same place at this particular venue. So there is opportunity for this to happen, which in this case it did. And there wasn't a ton, it wasn't like overfull with guests.
No,
so I think that's also,
really nice.
I think that's
it was
also
10 tables of 8.
Yeah. So the music selection.
Let's talk about it.
Let's get into it. So the ceremony. Well, all right. Oof. So we'll start with as guests arrive. It was very it was instrumentals, but it was very like Disney.
It felt Disney.
And again, I don't know.
I don't know if it was Disney, but it felt Disney.
The vibe of it was very Disney. But it was, it was great background music. It kind of like gets you in the mood. I feel like it really told the story of who they are.
Yes.
And their vibe of what they do and
their culture and
So it really told that story, not knowing them at all.
Exactly. It all made sense. Like after we heard their love story from the officiant, I was like, oh, it all makes sense.
So once the ceremony started, a song I've never heard played at a ceremony or at a wedding really before, and I, being a 90s guy, I loved it.
And I hit it like as soon as those
I had no idea. No, this was a cover. And so this particular song was played. What was the name of the song?
If I Ever Fall in Love Again.
If I Ever Fall in Love Again.
Well, no, If I Ever Fall in Love. But
if I ever fall in love. Okay, you've got the cover?
Uh-huh.
Okay, so this is a cover.
And it's usually by Shy.
Yeah, by Shy, and it's a slow ballad. Really a beautiful song, and it really just gets you in the heart, like in the feels.
Yes.
This was a cover, and so this was played when the family walked out, which was kind of like a fashion show in a sense.
Oh yeah.
Not like a fashion show.
It for sure.
Not as a fashion show, like they were highlighting the outfits or anything, but everybody, like once Jose walked out.
There was clapping for every single person
there was clapping.
Walked out.
It started with Jose because he was the first one to walk out.
No, it was grandparents.
Oh.
Some parents walked out first.
Okay. Well, you're right. You're right.
Parents. And they got claps.
They got claps. I was like, okay, so
that's what we're doing.
We're clapping for everybody.
Yep. And then, of course, when Jose walked out, we were like, we were really giving it up.
So, but they literally clapped for everybody.
Every bridesmaid.
Now, along with this, the Sabrina and Jose, their cultures or their backgrounds, Sabrina is German.
Yes.
And Jose is Puerto Rican.
Yes.
Very, very different cultures combining into one.
Musically and everything.
Yep.
You've
You've got the Puerto Ricans who are loud.
Yes.
And
that was one half of the room. They divided them. Did you notice?
Oh yeah, they did.
Yeah, you could tell when.
That's right, they did.
You could tell because when that room started clapping,
we're like,
we're clapping on this side. It was like we were
we were on the German side. I'm German, so that worked out well.
I am not.
Oh well.
No, I don't think so. But then you could tell where the immediate family, the Puerto Rican family.
Yeah, so they were hyping everybody up, which is really cool.
For sure.
So Jamal plays a cover of what's it called?
If I Ever
Fall in Love by Shy, but the cover is this one right here. That
as soon as that beat hit, I knew.
I had no idea. I know the song.
That first line, I was like, I know the song.
But when he started singing, I was like, oh my God, I love this song.
I absolutely love this. Oh my God! I just melt.
So who's
to that.
Who's it by?
So it's If I Ever Fall in Love. It's re-recorded. Shy with Budapest Symphony Orchestra. So it is Shy.
Oh, so it is
still.
Shy, but it's Budapest Symphony Orchestra.
And Symphony Orchestra.
I love that.
Yes, couples do that.
Woo!
Get me all.
Again, I love '90s music, so that's '90s, 2000s, but love that song. So family and bridal party, they all walked out to that song. Mm-hmm. Then, of course, it switched to an instrumental for Sabrina to walk out to. Mm-hmm. I don't recall what the song was.
Me either.
But she walked out, and then everybody was we all stood. There wasn't a wedding planner that was kind of directing things. They had coordinators from Bishop, and Jamal was kind of helping out, but nobody actually told us to stand.
We just kind of did.
So we stood. You and I stood because that's
that's what we do.
That's what we do. And then everybody looked at us and oh, okay. So they all stood too.
And then when we sat, the whole Puerto Rican side stayed standing. And then finally he said, "Now you may be seated."
Yeah, we sat too early.
You didn't tell us to stand, and then you wait to tell us to sit.
Yeah.
But we didn't think you were going to tell us to sit, so it's all good.
It was awesome. The officiant actually was great.
Yes, and he's known them before they were even a couple, as students.
So you've got the Puerto Rican side, you've got the German side. So he actually spoke in both Spanish and English for the ceremony, which so both sides can feel at home.
Yeah.
Which was, I just love that when you've got two cultures coming together as one. It's really cool.
Yeah.
Now, he told the love story of Sabrina and Jose, which is really cool to kind of to listen to. And then what really
we gotta tell the love story.
Well, I don't recall what the love story was.
I recall the love story.
All right, go ahead. Let's hear it.
So they were at college together.
Yes.
And they were supposed to be breaking up into groups to do a.
Well, they were in a class.
And they were in class, but they were breaking up.
It was a music class.
Yes, orchestra. And so.
Orchestra? I thought they were singers.
Singers and orchestra. I think it was a combined.
It was something. It was music related.
Something music related. And he basically just made his way into making sure he was in the group with her. And it was kind of intentionally. But then she asked somebody else who was sitting at our table, "Who is that guy?" And he's like, "I don't know who that guy is. I've never met him before." Because he was just so personable to everybody, Jose was. And so that started kind of their whole dynamic, because what the officiant said was that little did they know that they were in harmony before they were in harmony today. That's why I remember it, because they were singing harmonies and they had to match up to a group of, different harmonies. And he said, little did they know that the day that they matched harmony, that they would last forever and be in harmony today. I was like, oh my God. The belt.
Now, what really...
all the feels.
Yeah, what really was tugging at the heartstrings for this ceremony, and again, we always talk about love meters.
Yes, it was strong.
Last week the love meter was dull only because, or I'm sorry, the previous week was dull because
just type A personalities.
Well, no, it wasn't that. It was because the rushing of the officiant.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
True.
It was just everybody was running late, and he had to get to another wedding, and everything was just rushed.
He ruined that.
Overall, it was fine.
It's fine. We're married.
However, this past weekend with Sabrina and Jose,
he took his time with their
He took his time. you really just like you felt like you were there at their
It's story time.
yeah,
I could picture it.
yeah. I was like, okay, I want more.
Right?
So then it was time for the vows.
Oh my god.
And this is really when it yeah. Are you crying?
No, I'm not crying.
There's no crying in podcasting.
Well, today there is.
Jose went first. Jose went first, and the way he looked at Sabrina, the way he talked about Sabrina
I have
to
a photo
Sabrina.
of him when she was walking down, and he
was
just
bawling.
a blubbering mess.
It was absolutely just amazing to hear the words that he said to her, of her, about her.
Yeah, it was so descriptive. Like you could tell that okay, I'm going to stop crying. You could tell that he has that emotional intelligence.
Yeah.
And he knows how to use his words. Like that is he's a wordsmith for sure.
Mm-hmm.
In a way that was just I've never heard vows that strong and detailed the way that he detailed them, and the things that he said about her and how she moved and how she made everyone feel like home.
Yeah.
And he found his home in her, and I'm just like, oh my god.
There was not, I wasn't, but everybody else.
I was.
I know you were.
I am again.
Everybody. There were so many people shedding tears within the
every
guests.
groomsmen.
All the groomsmen were too?
The best man was mess. Mess. All the bridesmaids, a mess.
Yeah.
We were all just...
I will say, I mean, there are times, during, when I'm DJing and I'm running a ceremony, doing sound, you can feel the love meter. And there are times where I've lost it during a ceremony. I don't know these people.
Yeah.
And you can just feel it. You can hear it. And like I definitely got the goosebumps during their vows, but they were absolutely amazing. And then she talked about him, and she spoke in Spanish too.
Yes. And it was good Spanish.
Oh yeah,
it was like she said that he sets her heart on fire, and she said it in Spanish, and he's like,
she had a flair
corazón. To it. I was like, oh.
And you understand Spanish when somebody's talking to you, which I did not know that. You don't speak it very well.
Un poquito.
Yeah, well, me too.
No muy rápido.
Okay. I know.
I can hold a conversation with someone and I understand what they say as long as they don't talk too fast for me.
Yeah.
But I warned them and I said no muy rápido, so I warned them ahead of time.
Okay.
Por favor.
Yeah. But she talked a little bit in Spanish and in English, and again, once again, everybody started shedding, like they were all shedding tears, and it was just, after they were both done, we just looked at each other like, holy shit. That was, wow.
Yep. Hopefully somebody recorded all of that.
Unfortunately, the one thing
People had phone cameras, but
they didn't have a videographer.
Yeah.
And again, I'm assuming that because this was like a destination that they were,
it's probably definitely a tighter budget, but just video of their vows. I hope somebody has it, because you can't get that in photos, and so I know that Puerto Rican side, somebody videotaped every single bit of it, because that's just what we do culturally. We video everything, because we want to save it, we want to share it, we want to tell everybody in the world. But their vows and the feelings and everything were just, it was
spot on. Great job.
Sparks everywhere.
Standing ovation.
Yes.
Great job.
Sure.
Officiant.
Yes.
Great job.
And he said that the Saturday before Easter is always called the Day of Light, and that those two joining together were representative of their light and them showing the love through light on the day before Easter.
Yeah.
Like, oh my gosh. Ay, míos. Oh, and she referred to him, or maybe one of the two, as their muse. Oh, she referred to him as her muse, because she talked a lot about art in her vows. And when she said that he was her muse, I was like, oh my gosh.
Both are very artistic.
They are.
They are very musically inclined.
Yeah.
And so
strong genes with this one.
Yeah, so they all, once the ceremony ended, they all walked out. They went and did their photos, and then cocktail hour started.
And those margaritas were so good. The blood orange margarita.
Yeah, so Cornerstone was running. They ran cocktail hour. They had the bar, food. They had empanadas. Again, very, very specific to each culture.
Yep.
So, the drinks were great.
Yes.
They had margaritas. They had
They made their own lemonade too, and then they had
non-alcoholic lemonade.
Yeah, Blue Moon, and I saw Modelo, and some wine, of course.
So the guests really know how to drink because I guess Sabrina had mentioned that to somebody that they were like, go ahead and drink up the margaritas because I think we're going to have too much.
Yeah.
Well, they didn't because they ran out of margaritas. I think somebody heard that and were like, challenge accepted.
Oh, it was the guy at our table.
Well, no, I like in general.
We all heard
I think everybody heard it and it was like, challenge accepted. We're
Right.
all getting to drink
And she did a limited bar, which I have talked about and suggested. If you don't want your guests to get too tipsy, you limit how much you serve, and so that's
but
what
as a DJ, you want them to get trashed.
Exactly. As soon as Jamal, like, we were leaving at like 9 or something, and he was like, "Wait, the bar shuts down at 9." I was like, "Yep, your job just got a lot harder for the next hour."
I think he wanted a drink.
Maybe, probably, but yeah. Just, maybe get at least into dinner, because at dinner time is when drinks slow down naturally. So have at least enough of whatever it is to get through dinner and let people get that little, like, tingly feeling going. They're not going to get sloshed on a pre-made margarita too quickly. Maybe if I would have had a couple more, I would have been. But, it's one way to save the budget, and it's also one way to watch out for your guests over drinking.
But as far as cocktail hour is concerned, it was... because we usually, when you're at you go from ceremony, you get up and you go to the next room or you go to cocktail hour. In this case, there's movement. There's things are going on. In this case, ceremony ended. I think Jamal announced cocktail hour, and so like we were still just sitting at our seats.
Yeah.
At our tables, and it was weird. It was different.
It was different.
Nobody really got up. I mean, they eventually got up and went to the bar, but it was, I feel like, I don't know. It was
maybe because we didn't know anybody, but nobody knew anybody at our table. I think they all had just met.
Yeah, well, we made friends.
The table but I think that's the bonus that we get from that, is that because we're not up moving around, we didn't stay together. We were forced to be at the table with people that we didn't know and get to know them and have conversation. We had a conversation with everyone except for like the ladies to our left.
Yeah.
They were definitely in their own little love world, which I was there for too. But
there's a little gay couple there too.
Yeah,
those two were talking.
And those two groups were, but they had just gotten married in December.
Yeah.
And then the couple that was sitting next to us, next to you, have been married almost 2 years in August. And then the lovely ladies that were madly in love were not married yet because they didn't get up from the anniversary dance for married couples. So our whole table was full of love.
Yeah,
it was good. But it made us like get to know them and talk to them about like they weren't from here either. None of them were.
Yeah, music selection was different.
Yes, for cocktail hour.
For cocktail hour for sure.
I mean, we played Suavemente, didn't we?
So it was now again. I don't know what was given to Jamal.
Yeah.
He had a whole playlist that was given to him, and apparently she was. I think Sabrina had been like adding things to the list.
Oh yeah.
To like up to like the last day, which is it's normal.
We do that.
Yeah. In this case, the music was definitely. All over the place. It was upbeat,
very
which is
upbeat
good
for cocktail hour, but also things that you would want to be like everybody on the dance floor dancing to at the same time.
There were a few songs that
parents got up and danced to.
Yeah, there were a few songs that I think should have waited until till the party started.
Yeah,
like Suavemente. That's a huge Latin dance. Even white people like myself, we love that song. We'll get out there and we'll shake our hips and we'll shake our bodies. That one was actually one of the first Latin songs that was played during cocktail hour, and that one I don't know if that was requested for cocktail hour or if that was just on the request sheet, and he, Jamal just said, "Hey, I'm going to play this now."
Yeah.
There was a couple other Spanish songs as well that were played that I was like, that I personally thought would have been better for dancing.
Later. Yeah. But I did find it cute that the parents of the groom got up and danced during cocktail hour. So that was nice. So it was like, oh, that's different, but it's a song that they enjoy, and they're going to get up and dance to it. And I liked that.
Yeah, definitely. And, I mean, it wasn't...
What was the mix? The R&B...
Well, then he Jamal went into Jackson 5.
Yes, Jackson 5.
He went into Jackson 5 ABC. Actually had that particular mix that he has. He went into that song, complete left turn from Spanish to that.
Yeah.
And then he went into was
Some
it
pop songs?
No, those like Notorious B.I.G. or something.
Yes, it was. Yeah, because that was the mix.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He went into that, and then just from there, I think he was just trying to figure out what. And this is now DJs do this. We will during cocktail hour. We'll use this if we're mixing during cocktail hour, which a lot of DJs don't, but some do. And I like to, if I have the chance to, I will mix during cocktail hour and I will keep it more upbeat. It won't be dancing, but it will be upbeat just to kind of get an idea, okay, if they're vibing to this genre or this decade or this type of music, then I know what I can get away with during party time.
It's kind of like your test zone a little bit. And I think that's, and sometimes when you're bringing two different cultures like, German and Puerto Rican together, it's like, and you've got this, mosh of all this different music. It's like, how do we, or you as a DJ and Jamal, how do you mend all that together so that it flows? So that's like your test period to see, because you play a song and you see people bopping their head or getting up and dancing or you see nobody doing anything, to stay kind of maybe away from that a little bit. Yeah. So I think that's definitely smart to do, especially when it's so culturally diverse and the music is so diverse it was diverse the whole entire night. I have a feeling that it was just diverse music that he was provided, and so having those things meshed together, how do you do that?
Yeah. Now during cocktail hour, this is just my own take on it, I personally wouldn't quick mix. I think cocktail hour is more or less like you still want to mix and you still want to create those different mashups and everything. I think that still works, but I wouldn't quick mix. I would play the entirety of particular songs.
So can you tell for our audience the difference between mixing and quick mixing, like doing a mashup and a quick mix?
Well, I mean, a mashup is just basically taking the instrumental part of one song and linking it up to the lyrics or the vocals of another song. So let's just, for example, I do this one often. I'll take the lyrics of This Is How We Do It, and I'll use the instrumental of Never Gonna Give You Up.
Oh, yeah.
So it's completely two different, it's really like two different kind of genres in a sense. You've got like a pop song and like sort of like a hip hop in a sense. So just the acapella or the lyrics of This Is How We Do It, and the instrumental of Never Gonna Give You Up. And then like later on I will actually bring in the chorus and I'll rickroll people. Yeah. That's a mashup. We're like mixing two different songs together. Now, as far as quick mixing, you'll do that, but when quick mixing comes into play, it's you play the most important parts of that particular song. So for example, Wannabe by the Spice Girls. Yep. I would typically play the chorus to start as it starts. Maybe one verse, then I'll go into the rap, and then chorus and out, or maybe just chorus that rap part, which everybody will sing along with, chorus out to the next. So you don't play the entire, because that song's like 4.5 minutes long, and I'll play maybe a minute and a half of it. So that's quick mixing, and you get to play a lot more songs throughout the night. When it comes to partying, like you only have typically an hour and a half, 2 hours for the party. At least down here, I know in the Northeast, they party for like 3-4 hours.
And when you burn all of your quick mixes during cocktail hour,
well, there's more time. Now, if like the song really just is not vibing, then you want to pick a specific point in that song when it comes to the end of the chorus, and then mix into the next song. But I personally would recommend playing entire songs during cocktail hour. Okay. That's just my take. Yeah. because
But it's a good test zone if that's the case.
So yeah, cocktail hour was good, and then
The food was great.
of course the food was great.
Yep.
Love Cornerstone's food. Their drinks were good.
Mm-hmm.
But some other things on the DJ side. Of course, Jamal, very clean setup.
Yes.
Love his table.
Mm-hmm.
He was kind of like in
That little cutout.
He's like, The one thing I have a question about Jamal, and I don't know, I don't think I've ever seen this before, or maybe you do this, but he had a small little table.
I think I figured out why.
Why?
The spinning wheel. It needed somewhere to sit.
For that entire table.
I don't know, Jamal. I'm helping you out here. You gotta bail
Jamal,
yourself
I
out.
want to know what's going on with this side table that you had going on. If my recommendation, and again, probably nobody else really cared about it, but as a DJ, and for one who is very, I like a tidy setup, and I love everything to be like clean and proper and like nothing. I would put
his whole life, y'all. Though, just so you know,
what
you're very tidy and clean in all
that's
aspects.
true. I try to be,
Yes,
but
and
I
you
would have
are.
put that table behind him.
Yeah, so that it's
And then-
not seen.
And then that Ohio State man, come on, you got to put that under the table.
OHIO.
No, Ohio State lunch bag has got to go under the table so nobody can see it. I know you've got things in there, snacks and drinks and everything. Put that under the table. It doesn't go with the whole vibe.
But I still love you, Mr. Buckeye.
Yeah. But again, clean setup.
Yeah.
And Jamal did an awesome job. His announcements were great.
Yes.
Everybody knew what was going on. But yes, there was one thing that was different.
Yeah.
And it was a spinning wheel. So the whole thing was they didn't, instead of tapping on glass, which
we didn't have either.
well,
Plastic.
typically you would, if you wanted the couples to kiss,
Yes.
you would tap on the glass.
Yeah.
They said instead of doing that, and they actually had like instructions on the tables.
Yeah, they had like a triangular folded sign that was on a wooden base almost, or a cardboard base, and one side was the bridal party and all who they are. Another side was about the kissing, and they did it so they didn't disturb the manatees out of respect for the manatee rehabilitating there. And then the other side was the timeline, which I appreciated because it was like, wait, where are we at?
Yeah, what are we doing today?
What are we doing now?
They also had a QR code,
Yes.
so you could upload photos and videos to a Dropbox, which is really cool.
Which drained my battery.
Well, that's your own fault. You didn't charge your phone.
My phone was definitely on a high, so just beware. It took forever for those photos, but I didn't have great Wi-Fi either. But the spinning wheel,
yes,
was
the
a
spinning
portion
wheel,
of that, and that was really unique idea.
So I think that was during dinner. When dinner started, he announced the spinning wheel, and he said, in lieu of tapping on your glass to get the couples to kiss, he said, if you want to do something, come on up to the DJ booth. I have a spinning wheel. You'll spin the wheel, and it has different activities or things for either you to do, the couple to do, or for whatever.
Yeah.
Some of the things to do, I think the bride's mom, the groom's mom,
Yeah.
ended up having to do a performance.
Yes.
And they sung, or they sang,
New York.
they sang New York, New York.
As a group.
Well, it started as a group, and then majority of them all went and sat down, and then it just became them just standing there.
Trying to sing the lyrics.
Trying.
By phone.
By phone, but they had the mic.
They did. I just couldn't hear them.
Well, they weren't really. They at that point, it was.
Or you had to make on the way back to your seat, you had to bust a move.
Yeah, you had to bust a move, which I thought Jamal was going to play an actual song for him to bust a move to as he was making his way back to the seat, but that wasn't the thing.
Song "Bust a Move."
Right. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. What other things? I guess they did have
couples kiss.
Couples kiss.
What were some of the other ones? I can't remember. Like it was bust a move on the way back to your seat.
Performance.
Them to kiss.
There are a few other things.
Dance with them maybe was one of them, or you get to dance with one of the couple. There was like 7 or 8 different ones on there, and we dared not spin.
No, God no.
I mean, I kind of wanted to spin.
You could have,
but he was not going to go for that as my wedding guest date. If we would have had to perform, you knew you were going to be a part of that. I was going to pull you out. Yes.
Nope. I would have been like, I'm going to sit my happy ass right here.
Exactly. That's why I did not spin the wheel.
Yeah.
So I thought that was a really cute touch. I really liked that idea.
Yeah.
And it keeps things lively. And I think that it should be announced more. Like, all right, who's going to come spend, you know what I mean, a little bit more to get more people to do it. So that it's a little bit more of a theme throughout.
Yeah. And it definitely got the guests involved a little bit, which is cool.
Yeah, it was fun.
Dinner was good.
Yeah. We can talk about our guests at our table and how much our podcast helped them.
Yeah. I mean, the family attraction, the restaurants, that particular episode went really well because, again, a majority of the guests, actually all the guests there, except for the groom's grandmother, or is it the bride?
Yeah, bride's grandmother.
Bride's grandmother was the only one I think that lived in Bradenton.
Yes.
And that's why they did it, because they didn't want her to have to travel.
Yep.
So everybody else traveled.
Yeah. And Sabrina's the reason why, as we mentioned, that we did that podcast. And so it was really fun to sit there and listen to them talk about their adventure. And my most favorite adventure that they all went on was like Wednesday before the wedding when they all got there. They did the Baja Hut and Gator Club trek.
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't know if it's a trick. It's just...
No, trek.
Oh,
like they
trek.
Like it was journey.
Yes.
Like they're... Yes. And they love the Baja Hut.
They don't remember a lot of the night.
No.
Or the end of the night.
The end of the night got a little blurry, I heard. But that's what happens when you start at the Baja Hut.
Yep.
But what was going on at the Baja... Oh, it's karaoke at Baja Hut. So they started there.
And then at Gator Club, they had Jaw Movement downstairs and then the DJ
band,
upstairs.
And they
was that Wednesday or Thursday?
I want to say it was Wednesday, maybe Thursday.
I think it was Thursday.
Oh, yeah, it was Thursday because Jaw Movement's on Thursdays, reggae night.
And they wouldn't have a DJ on a Wednesday, so.
Yeah, true. It was Thursday. He's right. But they loved the different levels of Gator Club. They loved the downtown vibe. They said the drinks were so strong. Like they watched her pour the drink, and it was like
half of the cup was liquor. Then they topped it off with, I think, let's just say
Coke or something.
And then like, oh, there's still need. So they then topped it off again with liquor.
Oops.
But they had a good time.
There was room left, so she topped it off with more liquor instead of more.
So that episode worked really well for she and their guests.
And I'm interested if they're listening to this podcast after when it's posted. Let us know what you guys did the rest of the day because they're here till Wednesday. So the wedding was on Saturday, this past Saturday. So they're here till Wednesday. They talked about going to Krabby's seafood. And then they are thinking about going to the Dolly Museum.
Oh, yeah, in Tampa. Okay.
And also the Glass Museum. And venturing to St. Pete a little bit. Yep. And the Village of the Arts in Bradenton and Motorworks. So let us know what you guys all did because we're interested to see like what your favorite parts of Bradenton and Sarasota were.
Yeah, right on.
But yeah, the bride and groom were just so cute. We'll be posting some photos of us together with them. And they were just so appreciative of us being there. Yeah. Like, felt really, really much appreciated.
It was cool. One other thing, then right before the party started, so they did toasts, they did a cake cutting, and then after the cake cutting, Jamal announced that we were going to do a special anniversary dance, which I think is fairly popular. I think this is really kind of taking over. There haven't been any I haven't seen a bouquet toss or a garter toss, and I don't know how long.
Yeah, I don't know the last time we did that.
So
we've graduated.
Yeah, so he announced the anniversary dance, and he was rolling through it.
Yeah, quick.
But the one thing that he does different that I do,
and I do like this,
and I thought it was really cool. So he announced, He said, if you've been married for less than 24 hours, you may exit the dance floor. I'm like, no, this is their day. They should be on the dance floor.
That's not the part that we're like.
No, but I did, in my mind, usually I would say, if you've been married for less than 24 hours, you're actually staying on this dance floor the entire time, so don't go anywhere. However, 1 year or less, you may exit, then 5 years, 10 years, 20, 25, and so forth. So
their highest was 50 years.
So he actually stops at 25 years and below. Mm-hmm. So if you've been married for 25 years or less, you may exit the dance floor. And then the remaining couples stay out there, and he actually comes out with a mic, and he actually turns down the music, and he has the couple come over, and he goes up. He's like, let's
longest
married couple. Introduce yourselves, tell us who you are, how long you've been married, and some advice for the bride and groom.
Yes.
Well, I was like,
I like
I like that. But there were like 6 couples out there.
Yeah, there was a lot of good
The
advice.
longest was 50.
Yes.
And then the
I think 34 or something.
No, I think it
was the one after 25.
Oh, okay.
Maybe.
I think it was like 27 or 28. I was in the 20s. I know it was like high 20s, but there were 6 couples. The shortest was like 28. The longest was 50. But they each introduced themselves and gave some marriage advice, which I think was really cool. And of course, the last one, he was like, just know, he's like, you're never right anymore. Something like that. Like
like your answer is yes, dear.
Yes, yeah, that's right.
Yes, dear.
And then at that point, he said, all right, we're gonna get the party started, and he started off with Danza Kuduro. I don't know how you say that that song. Danza. That song. Danza.
Which is a good one because everybody's, you've got your older couples out there already, which is really great. So then you can just move right into getting them dancing and moving, which was not a problem. Yeah.
Well, no, because again, his side of the family, Puerto Rican. And they all wanted to dance and they were having a great time. And then it was a party.
Yeah, it was.
It was
so
a party. Good. There were some requests that that apparently were on the sheet that he had.
Shall I play it?
Well, not yet. And there was like a polka song, and at that point, I personally would have been like, all right, these people are really vibing to what I'm playing right now, and I really feel like if this polka song is just gonna kill the vibe, and it sure did. It surely did. And then shortly after that, I think he went into... Yes. I've never played this song. I've never played it. But it was a request. Jamal. Like, I didn't hear it at first. When we were talking to the couple, and it was on, and for some reason, like, when we were talking to the couple, we were taking photos with the couple and everything, and I, in like the back of my mind, I was like, oh, I'm at the skating rink. And then I came to, and I was like, wait a minute.
Wait, that's actually
what are you playing? And I looked at him, and he was like, it was on the request.
And so was the polka song, which I think was just for the sister of the bride and her husband.
Because they were the only ones dancing,
and they did a whole polka dance on the dance floor.
But that chicken dance.
It had like 50, no, okay, it had like a good 20 people out there doing it. Grandma was getting it. There were some kids getting it.
Jamal was getting it.
I was doing it.
Jamal, you gotta
do what you gotta do, whatever
I
they
guess
say.
so. However, I had an odd request that I've had was, what does the fox say?
Oh, God.
Yes, and I saw that on my request list one time, and I was like, there's no freaking way I am playing this song. And I went through the entire night, did not play it, had a great time. The bride comes up to me, and I played the last song, and she's like, I have one more song, can you just play it? It's just something with the family. And I was like, okay, what song is it? And she's like, it's what does the fox say? And I was like, are you kidding me?
That's for real.
That's how we're gonna end this night, is with that song. The worst song ever. If you've never heard What Does the Fox Say?
I'm not playing it because
don't play it
in my head. I'm not. No.
Do not play it.
I already have chicken dance in my head.
Do not play What Does the Fox Say? Don't play it.
Don't do it.
Don't do it. Don't even look it up.
Nope. Don't do it.
And don't even watch the music video. Don't do that either.
Oh, God, no.
And I know there's going to be some
viewers. By the way, the fox doesn't have a sound.
Anyway, I can just hear it in my head. No. I know there are some viewers right now or listeners that are like, I've got to look this up. Just please don't.
Yeah, it's in my head.
It is the worst song.
But it meant something to somebody at that wedding.
It did. And, it was their own little thing. And I've only played the chicken dance one time, and they had a ton of kids at that wedding. That's the only reason why I played it, because it was requested.
What about Baby Shark?
Oh, I played that. But I mixed that with Baby by Justin Bieber.
Oh, okay.
So I have fun with that one.
Okay. You could mix chicken dance with something.
No.
You could mix What Does the Fox Say with
No,
something.
gosh.
You could make that
no,
better.
God.
Anything would make that song better.
Not playing it would make everything better.
You know they're rich, right? Like, they're sitting fat and happy on that one song.
Good for them.
Makes no sense.
It's the worst.
It is.
But that's actually when we so
that's when we were getting ready to leave.
We were getting ready to leave, and then
Yeah.
of course Jamal was like, "Yeah, we're gonna get not ratchet, but he started playing some like hip hop and R&B, and everybody was having fun out there. And overall, I feel like it was a fun night.
Yeah, it was. The weather was great.
The weather was beautiful.
Oh my gosh, so
they had
good.
sunglasses.
They did. Oh, I meant to bring them. They had
sunglasses with their names on it, which actually came in very handy because I didn't bring mine in, and
we
the
were
sun
on the
was
sun
right
side.
in our faces during ceremony, and I think by cocktail hour it was over.
Yeah.
But the sunglasses came in handy. We actually took some photos. I'll post it.
We'll
but
get them posted.
and then they also had. It was a Puerto Rican tradition.
Yes, so it's like a little flower that's made, and it's a pin, and so it's handmade. It's a pin, and it has like ribbon that has their name and their wedding date on it. And the groom Jose was going around passing them out. I have mine, so I'll keep it forever. But
overall,
very sweet.
Beautiful wedding.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, again, they didn't have a ton of vendors. They had just the bishop, Jamal for DJ, photographer, caterer, and sweets for oh, and the dessert was really good.
Yeah,
they had the cake. They had
the cookies
were amazing. They had churros.
Oh, and they had orange blossom, which I think I absolutely loved. That they supported another local business, Orange Blossom Cafe, which is like a coffee shop downtown Bradenton, and they had tea and coffee in the big Cambros from Orange Blossom, and I thought that was such a sweet touch.
Yeah, and they had those churros with
like nuts. It was almost like a churro sundae.
Yeah, it was kind of cool. We didn't have it, but did you have one?
I didn't have one. No. But yeah, they looked really good. I was really trying. But the other thing that was on trend that Sabrina had.
Ooh, yes.
I know wedding dress.
Her wedding dress was
covered in these little petals, like these 4-leaf petals, all white, sheer. It was gorgeous. She had these amazing sleeves. And I said to Tim, I like how, because her sleeves were in the back, like it was sheer in the back, but they were so connected to her sleeves. And I said, I bet you those sleeves come off.
And they did.
Middle of the dance floor. I was like, see, she's taking her sleeves off. But yeah, I loved that. And then it became like a sweetheart neckline, and it was still all the flowers. Her train, I loved that she had a simple pony with curls, like 3 big curls, and her veil was underneath her pony, and it was very, very long past her dress. I thought she looked very stately and just magical. Like that dress was perfect for her.
Fit the vibe.
Fit everything.
Fit the vibe.
The centerpieces, as we mentioned, were magical. They had like lanterns with a lot of greenery and moss on top of books.
On top of books, yeah.
Yeah, it was just so well done.
So and again, I think it was just them. I think they're the ones that put everything together.
They did.
They they didn't have a planner. And
not all times do we see that goes well.
No,
but
and
went
it actually went really well. Now from the outside, it went well.
Yeah.
From the outside looking in, it went well.
And that's how it should be.
We don't know the headaches and the stresses that they had, them specifically.
Yeah.
But Sabrina, Jose,
you did your damn thing.
You did your damn thing. It went off with a hitch on our end.
Yes.
Because we didn't notice anything.
Great experience.
So our first wedding review, thank you for having us. That was such a wonderful experience.
So special.
Yeah, and so if anybody else wants us to come, we'd love to.
We do. We can be your party starters too. Like we love to dance. So if you're
I'll
worried
be your
about
hype
people,
man.
we can be your hype people. Like we can get it done.
Heck yeah.
For sure.
And I went up to Jamal many times, like, can you play something that we can dance to? No, I'm kidding.
It's an inside joke.
Yeah. But no, we would love to, because we obviously attend weddings all the time working, but we don't ever get to attend as guests. So
yeah, I think I've attended maybe 5 weddings in my lifetime as a guest, and probably 600 as a worker,
probably
as a vendor.
Yeah.
But yeah, I will say that on the planning side, when you've been investing time with a couple for as long as you do as a planner, there are tears. Like as soon as I send the bride or whoever down the aisle, and they're doing I'm usually crying in the corner typically. So to be at a wedding where I don't know them and the waterworks are going, it's a very special couple.
Yep.
Yeah. Like y'all are too cute.
Well done.
Yes.
Great job. Congrats.
Yes.
and
you have to come in. Like, we're gonna have to FaceTime. Like, we'll have
them call in. We can actually have them call in. Do kind of like a FaceTime call in.
Yeah,
thing.
absolutely. We'd love to do that for them for sure. And they're excited to do it. We did mention that. So
yeah. So again, congrats to you guys. I think that's going to do it for us today.
Yeah.
But you guys can find us on the socials. Again, for The Scoop on Instagram and Facebook, it's just The Scoop Weddings Unveiled. Brandy, how can they find you on Instagram?
Brandy B. Harlan.
There you go. For me, it is TLS Retreat Sarasota.
Oh, the Retreat Sarasota. Yes, we're not on Facebook right now. We got hacked.
Yep.
So just hang out with our Instagram for now. So on Facebook, Instagram, the Retreat Sarasota, and TikTok.
There you go. And then myself for, of course, TLS Entertainment, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, TLS Entertainment. That's where you'll find these videos. And then personal is SRQ Tim, which is Instagram, and then Facebook is Timothy Lee, because I was banned.
We have Facebook issues.
We do.
Are you not on TikTok?
Oh, no. And then TikTok, DJ Tim.
That's what I thought.
I think it's like DJ Tim or DJ Tim SRQ. What is it?
He needs more TikTok. We need more and more TikTok.
I had one. I actually had one that got like 25,000 views. Finally, yay. I mean, I haven't gone viral, but that was fun. That DJ Tim SRQ is my handle on TikTok. So that's where you can find us on the socials. So
yeah,
that is going to do it for us. Another episode in the books. This is our first wedding review.
Yeah.
Hopefully, we'll have some more.
Yeah,
I would love to provide some further in-depth reviews of weddings. From an outsider's perspective, not actually working the wedding. So that's going to do it for us. Again, I am DJ Tim. Well, I'm Tim Schaus. Tim Schaus, TLS Entertainment, your premier wedding DJ. And then, of course, Brandy Harlan, your non-retired wedding planner at the Retreat Sarasota.
Peace and chicken grease.
Holla.